Hey guys, Marcy here. Welcome to my craft room. I've got yet another haul video for journal supplies. In my last video, I mentioned that I had picked up some free supplies, so I'm going to share those with you first today. And then also I have done a little bit of thrifting and a little bit of purchasing online. I've had kind of a wish list of books that I went ahead and finally got because I liked the prices, so that's back there. So it's all going to be combined into one journal supply haul video today, and I think this is my third one this year. We're only in April, and yet I've already had 3 journal supply hauls, so I promise I will not do that all year long. But anyway, I'm mostly excited about the things that I receive for free, because as you know, that's kind of a big part of what I enjoy, and what I propose for all of you to do is to find free journal supplies. But sometimes something beautiful comes along and you want to use it as well. I have the phone out of my holder right at the moment because I couldn't get everything in the shot while it was on the stand. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on the stand, and then I'm going to clear some of this away. We'll start with what was free. Be right back. Okay, I tried to kind of lower the piles here because I can't get my stand up high enough to see everything, but it looks like some of these are still going to be out of frame. So let's start with the things that I got for free on our trip. My son-in-law and daughter, as you know, just purchased a house in February, and as part of that they had to do some mega cleaning out because all of us are huge bibliophiles. We absolutely love our books, we love our bookcases and our libraries. And we are all guilty of scrounging for free books when and wherever we can. So now that they're in a house and they've kind of condensed everything down, Sam was given the guideline by his wifey that anything free access or that you can get for free on the internet, he was no longer allowed to keep those books. That means that some of these he had to clean out, and then also he had gotten some from the Multnomah Library, and then he decided to clear those out. So we had fun going through all of his books that he was trying to discard. So some of these are quite old, and a lot of them have come from the Multnomah University Library. Okay, that one has come from Bora High School. Anyway, and this one, look at this. This one has library cards in it. I didn't even notice that. I mostly picked these because of the pages, you know, just making interesting pages and papers for journals or for making ephemera and things like that, and because they're old. Can't go wrong with old, contrary to popular belief. Yeah, this one's from 1938. So there's this one, Poems for Modern Youth. And then, of course, even though the spine's coming off, we're not afraid. Oh no, we love books that fall apart, so we can make journals out of them. This one, I think, may have been discarded from the library, also with a cool library card and pocket. These are fun to remove from the books and then hang on to them to create other ephemera when you have the real deal. It's really cool. So these library pockets and library cards will definitely be coming out of these books. But again, it's mostly just for the pages and also for the covers. So whenever you're making ephemera from book pages, it's nice to have a steady supply. But I really like the cover, and since it had a dust jacket on it, it doesn't have all the tape and stuff that sometimes when I try to remove the ones that are taped on, or try to remove the little thingies from the library, it tears the cover. So this is just a beautiful size and a beautiful color, and it's old. Here's another one. This one, now the spine's coming off, but look at this. It says The Collector. There we go. Now you can see it better. It's already detached, which is marvelous. This will make an absolutely fantastic piece of ephemera or a bookmark or something, so I'm definitely going to save that. A lot of times I don't because they're not that terrific, but this one's cool. So this one, 1963. But again, just really nice book pages for making ephemera that came from the Meridian Free Library District. So these were all discards, I guess, not just from... Oh, wait, what did I just see? Oh, I gotta give that back to Sam. I'll go put that in the guest room so they can have that back. I had found money in one of his other books, too. I think he just stashed it in there for who knows what bizarre reason. Like an old man saving up for his retirement in his book collection. But if you're gonna do that, you should definitely make sure you take them all out of the books before you get rid of them. Oh gosh. Anyway, so there's that one. And then this one, The Mysterious Numbers of the Hebrew Kings. So this has to be a Multnomah. Yeah, this is a Multnomah discard. But I liked this one. I thought it had like, yeah, it's got tables and things, which also make for interesting ephemera. I keep veering off to the right, so I'm going to scoot my camera over. Let's center that up a little bit better. Anyway, really cool things in the pages that I can use. Sometimes indexes and charts and graphs and tables make really cool ephemera, backgrounds and things like that. So I thought this would be a nice one. And then again, the cover. Look at how nice that cover is. But this is what I'm talking about. When I go to peel these off, sometimes it tears the paper spine, which is a big time bummer. This one actually was my book, and I bought it back in, I found my receipt in here. I bought it at Powell's bookstore in like 1992. There it is. Then I had it sitting on my shelf for forever, and I didn't recall that it had all these notes and handwriting and stuff in it. That's not my favorite thing. I do not like to try to read books that other people have marked up. I find it really hard to concentrate on that. So I like mine to be clean. Yeah, I bought it in May of '92, so that would be when my brother graduated from Multnomah with his bachelor's. After that was when they moved to Wisconsin, and then he began working on his master's. No, first they moved to Chicago because he got his master's in Chicago, and then they moved on up to Wisconsin. But anyway, so that was when he started his upper graduate education. But I bought this at Powell's bookstore in Portland, and it's actually a really good read. I've started it a couple times and gotten most of the way through it. Then I found a really nice copy, and I gave this one to my son-in-law, but now he's getting rid of it, so I took it back. So in some ways it was free, but it's not really free because I'd already purchased it once. Okay, here's this one, the Theological Word Book of the Bible. Again, it kind of has like a dictionary look to it, and the colors of the pages are really pretty. Well, I have no end of journal supply fodder. But yeah, I really had better make sure that Sam's not hiding any more $2 bills in there. They can't afford that. Can't afford to give away money. Anyway, I like that one. I also kind of like the paper that this is made out of. There's this one, the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible. I got it because it's big. It has a big spine, and sometimes the big wider spines are really nice when you do want to make a journal because you don't have to widen the spine. But look at it, it's very indexy because it's a concordance. And these are kind of almost the weight of like a phone book. That's how lightweight they are, or like a Bible. They're also really good for pressing flowers. And my really good flower pressing book I gave away to one of my daughter's friends for something to borrow, and I haven't received it back. So I was looking for another good one for pressing flowers. So primarily this will be for pressing flowers and things, so I can use them. And then pull some pages out. Here's a commentary. Again, chosen for the book cover, which of course it's all taped up, but it's a nice color, it's a nice size, and then the pages can all become ephemera, book blocks. What I usually do is when I get a book that I want just primarily for the cover, then I will gut it right then and save the cover and then have the blocks somewhere else, so I know that I can use them either for glue books or for ephemera. And then there's this one. This is a very old copy of the classic by Hannah Whitall Smith, The Christian Secret of a Happy Life. I have read it. I don't really agree with her theology. I might have the first time I read it, but I really don't anymore. So anyway, I do like this cover, but I mostly got it for the cover, the book cover. So I have no qualms about tearing it up because I think her theology and her assumptions were a bit flawed, but I don't really want to debate all that right now. Now, then I asked my mom about maps, because over the course of my lifetime, we've taken many vacations. My parents are AAA members, And so we had no end of maps. So I asked her for some. I was really wanting the big atlas, and she just didn't have it, but she did have quite a nice stack of these just regular maps. And like this one, for instance, has a really pretty color. Isn't that cool? So I've got a nice selection here, even though I don't have the big atlas. You can tell we go to a lot of the same places because you'll see repeats. This one's kind of old. Look at that. And this one's also a little glossy, which not usually my favorite, but sometimes depending on what kind of book you're making, you might want the map look, but you don't want to use one of your older ones. So, and a lot of these do have really pretty colors. See? So I need to put, there's some other glossy ones at the bottom of the stack. But I've just got all these lovely full-size maps that can be cut up for endless amounts of book pages. And then all the scraps can be used to make ephemera. So that's awesome. And these are, a lot of these are from the early 2000s. But yeah. Oops. Can you even see what I'm doing? No. Maps are fiddly. My mom was always, my dad was the driver. My mom was the navigator as we drove, but they usually pre-planned because they would have like highlighted on their maps and things the route they were to take. And of course, if you belong to AAA and you can't figure that out yourself, they will do that for you. So she was cleaning all these out. Here's an Oklahoma map. That's where my dad was born. That's a glossy. So I've just got a nice big stack. This one's semi-glossy. It's a really thick map. Of course, Seattle's not exactly a small city either. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Mo, 2 Iowa, Nebraska. Can't remember what that is called. The Devil's something, I think. Anyway, that's a landmark. I think we tried to go see that when we drove my daughter to school in Chicago that year, and then we missed the turnoff and didn't see it. Here's another nice one, semi-glossy. It's a little bit newer map, but again, depending on my project, I might not want to use one of the older ones. If I have like a newer looking book or something that's more colorful, I might want to use this one instead. So now I think my map selection is doing pretty well. And then I got another Montana, another Idaho. This one has lots of good stuff. So these are the more glossy. And then she just threw in a random piece of tissue paper. Thanks, Mom. And then she also gave me another stack of these kinds of books. And they're not really maps, but I figured I could use them maybe as glue books. And then there's this one. I really still want to do this. Take the train across Canada. I mean, how amazing. So I think I could probably use these as glue book pages. So they won't go to waste. There's quite a few of them, and I'll be... when I say glue book, I mean like a masterboard for collage. That kind of thing. And then also she gave me this calendar. Let me put this in frame a little better so we can look at it. So here are these. Aren't these cool? So this was from the, it's supposed to be like the 4 months prior before you get to the new year for the calendar. But I could cut these out and use them on the fronts of cards or booklets or something. But this one has really gorgeous artwork. Isn't it pretty? Really pretty journal pages. Or I could even cut out the birds or just the pears or, you know, this little bird, or cut out some of the hydrangeas or something like that. But lots of options with this one. Very cool. Thank you, Mom. So that's my freeganism. That's all my free stuff. Let me set these aside and then I will be right back with the other stuff. Next up are the things that I purchased either thrifting here right before we went or while we were there. This stack over here, I couldn't show you in the last one. I ran out of time. It was a really long journal supply haul. But these were the ones that I picked up on my last few thrifting trips, but I'm keeping them for me. I already have the copy of Now We Are Six. And I've never had this copy. So This one matches the one I already have, and they had a copy of that one at the store. I left it because I already own it. So this one is going on my personal shelf. This one is so cool. I just walked in and I found it, and I got this thing for, I think, 99 cents. Just ridiculous. At first, when I looked at it, I was going to maybe take it apart. But now that I see that the subject is the Scottish chiefs, and it's all about Scotland, and that this book is from 1921, and it has these beautiful, beautiful illustrations and all kinds of history. This one is going to make its way to my personal shelf. So that's so cool. Just a really cool book. Let's see if I can find more pretty pictures. Of course I can't. There's a list in the front that tells you where all the pictures are. Do you remember when you were a kid and you would like thumb through the old books just to see the pretty pictures? Ooh, look at that. The Pledge. This looks like the Northern Lights, you know. I used to hold it up this way and then look for where all the paper is different on the pictures. But anyway, really neat book. So that's going on my personal shelf to be read in my old age at my leisure. I used to say I'll slow down when I'm in the home. But now I feel like I'm slowing down ahead of time. I'll slow down when I want to slow down. There's Sterling Castle. Big, cool book. Really neat book. Nice big size. 99 cents, folks. So that's going on my shelf. This one I found at another different thrift store. And this is the Golden Treasure of Poetry. I'm going to scoot because I need to spread it out. And I got this one at the Restyle store. This doesn't have the year. Where's the year? It's just absolutely beautiful. So this one is also going on my shelf. Well, the original copyright was 1959, but I think I saw in here somewhere that they got it, like, I don't remember. They got it later. So here, let's just thumb through. Beautiful illustrations, beautiful poetry, more lovely than any poetry book I had as a child. I never really could get into it, but this is just beautiful. So this again will go on our personal shelf and be saved for reading to future grandchildren. And if I don't give my future grandchildren ever in the future, I'll just read it myself. But isn't that beautiful? And that one was $2. Not bad. Okay. Then I also picked up one for me to read. It sounded like it had a really good premise, so this is for me to read. And then I found this one at Deseret. It was just sitting there. And Deseret, let's see, how much did they charge me for this beauty? $2. Oh, duh, it's right there. I'm gonna take that off though. That adhesive is gonna mess up my cover. I have seen this in other people's hauls, and also I've seen them alter it. And I am a little undecided as to what I want to do with it. I just snagged it because there it was. And I knew it was special. Here you go. Oh, look, there's a little note. Inject the broth and flour for 2 hours. Is that for a turkey or something? Yeah, chicken turkey. And Bill and Sandy are coming over. Is that? Oh, it looked like a social security number. No, it's just a very poorly written phone number. Okay. Sorry. Just blasted their personal information. Oh, the Trolley Bar was a restaurant in Boise. It's like a little piece of something, like a matchbook or something. I think it's still there. I was there a few years ago when I went and had breakfast with my cousins. The guy that owned it might have retired. It's clear on the other side of Boise. Let's see. Anyway, this is how it looks. The copyright. The second copyright is 1998. So I guess this is a reprint of the 1961, but it actually feels older than 98. But that's because it was a reproduction. Anyway, it's in really nice shape. And so, oh yeah, see, because it's got the barcode. So definitely it's the 1998 version. Anyway, I haven't quite decided. One part of me, based on the cookbooks that I've found recently, feels like maybe I should just start a vintage cookbook collection, but that's not really the kind of thing I need to be doing. So I'm not sure. I'm just kidding. My brother recently told me about a thrift store. It's actually a Goodwill thrift store that I was unaware of, and I didn't know it was there. So I went over there to check it out. So let me move that stuff. So here I only found 3 things on the day I went to look, but one of them was a whole thing of muslin. So I can do coffee dyeing. I can coffee dye this thing. Not sure how many yards. The width is 90 inches, but the length is only 3/4 of a yard. It's quite a lot of muslin. Somebody bought it at Walmart and literally never used it, but perfect for coffee dyeing. So that is what's going to happen to that. And then I found this, and I had just watched, I have seen these before, and I've seen them when I'm on vacation, but they're too bulky for me. I had just watched Margaret over at Seven Plaza, and she had found some in her thrift stores, and I have noticed this before. They have this gorgeous paper. And I thought, well, next time I see one, I'm going to pick one up because these are perfect. You just take it apart and use the paper for backing your tags and different things, or for collage. And so one book is more than enough. It's very similar to like that straw paper, I think, that Rachel over at Roxy Creations uses. So yeah, really cool paper. Oh, I see, that came off of there. So that was that. And then after I deconstruct it, I don't think I'm going to save the banana leaves or the cover, probably. This is supposed to be cinnamon sticks, I think, but they don't smell like cinnamon anymore. That's the kind of thing you find like when you go to the Caribbean on a cruise, and they're in all the shops. And then I found this really cool, it's supposed to be a guest book, but I liked the print and the font on it. It has kind of that typewritten look. Somebody has torn some pages out. I'm going to zoom in just a sec for a little bit here, so you can get a better view of it. But it has really neat quotes and things, and just the artwork. So when I take it apart, it will make really cool journal pages. Boy, they just had a heyday tearing out something. Maybe they took out the lined pages so they could just keep the quotes. I don't know. Interesting. Let me, I always have a better time flipping back to front. Happiness is not perfected until it is shared. Yeah, it looks like for some reason at the front, maybe they just took out where people had signed it before they donated it, which was a very kind, thoughtful thing to do. So we are going to read a quote for today at random from this book, but I liked the cover. I could actually clean that up and make a really nice journal cover. And I liked that everything in here had that typewritten look. Really cool. Let's set that aside. And then as far as our trip, here's what I found. I didn't find a lot, truthfully. We went to some places that were more vintage and antique kind of stores, and then just not a lot in the way of thrift stores. However, happy discovery. Let me zoom out. There we go again for you. My daughter has a Goodwill outlet, the one with the bins. It's like a half a mile from her house. So next time I'm there for any duration, we'll make a plan. She's not as much into the thrift storing as I am, but Camille, my younger daughter, loves to go thrifting, so Katie gets bored. She's like my mom. My mom has no use for thrift stores or secondhand or anything. She didn't even let us shop at Kmart when we were kids. So I went, viewer recommendation, there's a store there called the Retail, T-A-I-L. Well, that is how you spell retail, but it's for animal rescue. It was a thrift store, so we didn't have a lot of time because we were kind of in between things, but I said, let's go find it. And then it started raining cats and dogs, and everybody was bored but me. So I went through, but I found this really cool book. That's I like to find the gardening books or the ones that have pretty pictures. And so this one's all roses. Isn't that pretty? So I grabbed that. I don't remember how much it was. And then I'm trying to think, did I find another one? I might have found this one there. Hold on, let me double check. I didn't spend very much because I only found a little bit. Retails thrift store. Yeah, 3 books. Yeah, they were only 49 cents each. So I found this one. And the reason I picked this up is because I also have a fondness for Beatrix Potter and Peter Rabbit. I did our kids' nursery in that way back. It was one of the anniversaries of Beatrix Potter, so everything was Beatrix Potter themed, and you could find a lot of it. So I have quite a few Beatrix Potter, Peter Rabbit books that I have saved for making journals, and then this has cross-stitch patterns and other pretty pictures that I could use in those. So that's my sole reasoning for buying this. But look at these. This would be cool to cut out and put on the cover or what have you. And let's see, what does this cover look like? See, this could be a cover for a Beatrix Potter themed journal as well. So got that, got the Roses book, and then I believe I got this one. Now this is an older one. You can tell, no barcode. Luckily they didn't realize that was the case, so it was only 49 cents. So I picked this one up. I think I have another copy of this, but I like to find them where I can. And then at a different thrift store, I picked up these 2. And, where's the other thing? And this. Not thrift store, antique and collectible store. So I picked up this that had the cooking and recipes. Really old. So this would go into cookbook type of journals and things. And of course there's the colorization. This was only $2.50, so that's why I bought it, because some of the other ones that they had they wanted a lot more. But I like the look of the pages, how they're laid out, and the typeface and all of that. So I think this was from the 30s. Yeah, 1937 by Procter & Gamble. So there's that. And then I picked up this, and unfortunately this thing was like $3.50. It was new $2.50, and then they wanted $3.50 for it at the store, but I don't have one like this. I have the older one that has Corinne Malvern, her artwork in it, but this is different illustration by Frances Score Mitchell. I'm going to zoom in. And the artwork's different, and I think the hymns are a little bit different. So I haven't actually seen this one in my stores before, so that's why I picked it up. But the average price in all of the thrift stores, excepting for this one, which was 49 cents, everywhere else that I was looking for these, and there were tons of little golden books, older and newer, I wanted $3.50 a piece, which is just a little bit high. And then I found this, and I have seen these little golden book collections. Other folks have made journals out of them, primarily the one that says everything I learned about love. I learned from a little golden book that has a red cover. Well, this one is all Eloise Wilkins stories, and I haven't quite decided if, I don't think that, I'm torn. I don't really want to tear it up. I think I might keep it. This may be another one to put in my keep pile because it has several of her stories and her artwork, and even though these are newer, it's like from 2011, and the pages are a little bit more glossy, it has her beautiful artwork. And it has, I think these are the actual stories. The other one is like its own story, but then they weave in the artwork from various little golden books. Yep, see, these are the words to my little golden book about God. So I like, it's in really good shape, and so it still has her artwork with the complete stories. And some of these are different, like I've never seen these actual books. The Wonders of Nature, that first one we were just going through. And then, what's the other one? Hold on. This looks like a different story. Yep, We Help Mommy. Oh. Baby Listens. She draws the cutest babies. They are hilarious. Baby Deer. So some of these are really old little golden books that you don't really see anyway. So I'm thinking that even though I could take it apart and use it in journals, I think this one's going on my shelf. I really do, because it's her artwork and so many of her stories. Oh, 9 beloved classics. I didn't find 9, but anyway. So yeah, that is the thrifting portion. Now I'm going to clear this away. All right, the first thing I'm going to share with you is this. Everybody's going gaga over these, and I am no exception. I have fallen into the trap. So these are the stamp sets by Sam Poole, and there's dates from the past, and I went out and found this one. It's getting hard to find because they're not making it anymore. But then they also have dates from the past too. And when I looked at the two of them, I kind of preferred all of the images on this. So I found this, and I don't know if they still have it. They might not still have it. It's a UK website called Craft for Less, but there's a big number 4. So I had to wait for it to come from the UK, but it was a lot more reasonably priced than anything I was seeing on Amazon. And even I went to scrapbook.com, and it was even quite a bit lower. After I translated pounds into American dollars, I was still getting a better price by ordering it from there, and then their shipping cost, it was still less to order this. And then I also ordered this stencil because I really like the trellis look. So they're both by Sam Poole. So it's dates from the past. I just Googled this to see where it would pop up at. And then dates from the past 2 is the newer one that everybody is also liking. So I went with this one. I just like the looks on it better. I like the little flower. I just liked these label-y things, what they said, better. That's just me. Okay, and then I did definitely invest in some books that have been on my list for a long time. What I very often will do is go out to eBay, and then I'll put out a search, and then I'll put a dollar parameter that I'm willing to pay, and then I just wait for it to alert me that those books are out there. And so it finally alerted me to this one, which a lot of people use, The Wildflowers of Britain by Margaret Erskine Wilson, and it has gorgeous flowers and illustrations. This is a lot smaller than I was expecting. So let me tell you how small it is. It is 6 by 7. I thought it was more like a regular sized book. So anyway, if you go looking for it, just know it's a smaller book. And I bought 2 because, again, I'm going to tear one up. I'm going to keep one. So there's this. And let me just flip through here really quick. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, there she is. Now, this is the lady, yeah, month by month. So she had a friend who's like, I cannot figure out flowers and I don't know what's what. And this woman, for her friend, went through the British countryside and made paintings and drew month by month all of what was in bloom and labeled it, because she's just that kind of wonderful human being. Begun in 1943 for a friend who said, I might learn the names of flowers if you drew them for me in the months they're in flower. And so she did that for her, and then she says after her death, the friend's death, I repossessed them and continued the project through 1990. So she's got quite a huge catalog here. But here's why we like it, because look at these beautiful backgrounds and all of the gorgeousness there. So you can use these as backgrounds on tags and journal cards, or you can take these pages out and just use them as pages in your journals. Just beautiful. They would be a little hard to cut out. Looks like these might have been a larger size to start with, but I have seen lots of people use this book and create with this book. And so when it finally dropped down to a price that I wanted to pay, I went ahead and bought 2. And I think, I don't remember, I can't say, but I'm thinking they were around $11 a piece. I got these from Super Book Deals, but it was through eBay. Super Book Deals is the name of the seller. So, one for me and one for the craft room. I'm going to have quite a lovely collection of botanical gardening books. And someday when I am dead, my grandchildren and great-grandchildren are going to be like, Grandma was a real lover of botany. And while that's true to a degree, that's not why I bought them. I bought them because they're pretty. Anyway, I'll get a whole different perception of me than what is actually true. This was recommended by a viewer. And she saw my Edith Holden video where I was talking about all the different books. And so she's a huge fan of Edith Holden. That was like her first, the first time she ever saw it. She was like in middle school. And so she recommended to me this one. Again, I purchased a copy to see what I was getting. And then I bought one for me too. So the better of these two copies, there's only one right here, but the better of the two will be going on my bookcase, on my bookshelf. I don't know. I was originally thinking, you know, you could cut these out and stuff, but they're just so beautiful. And I don't know if I want to do that. I think I would want to just use the pages as pages, you know? Like a double page spread in a journal. So pretty. So this one is called The Country Flowers of a Victorian Lady by Fanny Robinson. Okay? This one, again, Margaret at Seven Plaza, being in the Netherlands, has different things over there than what we have here. And so she had found a bunch of these Reader's Digest field guides, and I didn't know Reader's Digest made field guides, so I went out looking on eBay again, have a whole bunch of them, and I chose this one that said animals because I thought I could get a greater variety of things to cut up. Different kinds of animals. And so apparently Reader's Digest did launch these in the UK, but not in the US. So they have mostly British animals. But look at these. I can cut all these out. There's horsies and cows. There's a fox. Isn't he cute? I think my dog would love to run with the foxes. He's a kitty. Badgers. What is that thing? The otter. Duh. I should know that. We have otters here. Not in where I am, but in the US and on the coast. So just really beautiful artwork. Lots of pretty images that you can cut out to use in your, that I can cut out to use on my ephemera. I have a lot of fussy cutting. I guess I've decided to get into fussy cutting because I have definitely been accumulating more stuff lately for that. Now, there's cute little bunnies. There's some bats. I love bats. I'm fascinated by them. I'd love to have a bat house so it could keep all the bad bugs out of my yard. There's froggies. Little lizards. And then back here, it had livestock. Look at the cows. I love cows. I don't know if you guys knew this about me, but I absolutely adore cows. I don't collect them. I don't decorate with them, but I do adore them. I think they are just sweet. Here's sheep. And more sheep. Hogs and pigs. Goats. I don't see chickens. Oh, there's chickens. Chickens and ducks. There's a turkey. So yeah, just beautiful images, artwork. I'm going to set this one aside for a minute. So that was a recommendation by Margaret. They have these in different themes. So butterflies, birds, all the stuff. Insects, whatever you want. So just look it up. Reader's Digest Field Guide on eBay, and then you'll get all the options. And then this is another one that a lot of people have been using. It's the Concise British Flora by Kebble Martin. Again, one that I asked for a certain price range, and it's very similar, as you can see, kind of the layout. Similarly done to this one, The Wildflowers of Britain, month by month. And maybe a bigger flower here or there like those could be cut out, but a lot of them are small, so I would use them more for journal pages. But I'm really happy to have these in my collection. I only have one of these at this moment, so this one will get used for journals. And then if I stumble across another one for a really good price, I will definitely put it on my bookshelf because they're just lovely. But look at back here, there's black and white images too. So it lends a whole different look to some of your journal pages. It's beautiful, beautiful images. I can't help myself. I got a sickness for beautiful botanical images. There we go. So there's that one. And then this one also a recommendation by Margaret at 7 Plaza. And this is the man who compiles these. They're from the Netherlands again. His name is Leonard de Vries. My 8th grade teacher was Mr. de Vries, my homeroom teacher. He had moved here from North Dakota. Anyway, so every time I hear the name de Vries, I think of Mr. de Vries, my teacher. But I picked this one because it had the best compilation, I think, of images and things. But again, go out and just search for Leonard de Vries on eBay and see what comes up, because he has quite a number of them. One of them is very similar to the Sears and Roebuck catalog, the old one. And so I didn't get that because I have a reproduction of the Sears and Roebuck catalog from the 1890s, or the 1900s. It's 1903, right? Yeah. It's funny because as I was going through that old catalog, I found some stuff that when we cleaned out Tom's family home, ancestral home, I guess, where the Harrisons were all together, his grandma's house, and where his aunt and uncle and other aunt all lived. I found some of the things in that catalog that we found at their house, so now I know the origin. Isn't that funny? So this one has just all kinds of interesting pictures and poems and stories, and some of them are a little kind of terrifying when you read them. There's that one with the girl on fire. Where'd she go? I think a lot of them had a moral to it. Where is she? This is so cute. But you can cut these out and use them to decorate your ephemera, which is kind of my thought. I don't know if I can find it now. I had looked at it first. I was like, oh, that'd make cool pockets. And then I realized that the girl and the cats were on fire because it's a story about not playing with matches when your parents are gone, which has a good moral, but probably didn't want that in my journals, I don't think. Aren't these beautiful? So yeah, there's that, Leonard de Vries. So that was again a recommendation by Margaret at 7 Plaza. And then the last one, because you buy 3 get 1 free or something. Anyway, these were all purchased. These last few were from World of Books, again on eBay. I took a chance on this, sight unseen, but I liked the price, so it was very cheap. So I thought, well, let's see what we get. So let's see what we've got, huh? Because I've not heard of it, but it was coming up in the recommendations down below since I was already looking at other similar books. So this is cool, huh? Let's see. That's kind of an indexy, nature-y, almost like a dictionary or reference book. Well, it is a reference book. And yeah, I see a picture. There we go. And then there's some plates with beautiful drawings. So very similar again to this style and to this one. I'm gonna put those there so you can take note. The Concise British Flora in Color by W. Keble Martin. You have to say W. Keble. And then Wildflowers of Britain Month by Month by Margaret Erskine Wilson. This one is just called Country Heritage Series Flowers of the British Countryside, and by W.J. Gordon. Good to know. And there we go. Look at that. Now we're getting some pretty pictures. So I would say for like the $7 I spent on this or whatever, it was well worth taking a chance. And then look in the back. Look at these cool little drawings and indexes and things. So it has a lot of fun stuff. Really nice book. All right. Well, thank you, eBay, for the recommendation. So that is all the stuff. So there we go. There's my loose arrangement of the things that I found and my most recent journal supply haul. Okay, so let's grab. I'm gonna grab this one. We're gonna open randomly. My eyes are averted. I'm not looking. I'm gonna open to a random page and read the quote for the day. Let's see what we've got. Oh, okay. This is good advice for today. Spend the afternoon. You can't take it with you. So there you go. There's your quote for the day. Spend the afternoon because you can't take it with you. Use it up. Enjoy it. It's the only time you're going to get today. All right, that's it for today. Thank you for hanging with me. Please let me know what your favorite item here was, or if you have anything that you are always looking for or like to try to find when you're out, or even where you like to shop to find some of your used books and things like that. So until next time, my friends, be inspired and do something creative today. I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye now.